very simple. I will be doing less talking. I'll be doing less talking, but more of helping you with identifying your one-page resume from the CV that you already would have worked with us in Career Labs and Aspire Higher now. Yeah. So it's going to be a very important for you to have your resume with you or your CV with you. Okay. And the aim is to show you for those of you who are in fall 2025, you guys are going to the US soon, and I'm so happy for you all. I know that you all have started, working with us for the visa and everything else, and you're just going to hit your first, um, in first week of August or sorry, September, you'll be like starting your classes. So it doesn't matter for any whether you're in fall 2025 or 2024. So you will need a one-pager resume when you're going for a job. And those of you who are already like working with us for the fall 2025, you know that you are going to also have placements starting soon. You also have internships needed, etc. Okay. So what I'm going to teach you today is how to adapt your multi-page CV into a single page resume. And what are we looking for in the single page resume? Okay. That's going to be the conversation. I won't have too much of PowerPoint today, but I'm going to just show you some things and tell you about some of the insights about how to start with it. Okay. So when I say that I'm going to work with you on the resume part of it, immediately, so just a second while I enable something here, 1 minute. Great, excellent. So when I say that you guys are going to look at an internship or a job or something, right? Immediately, the first thing that should come to your mind would be a job. All right. You cannot work on your resume independently of the job description. So please keep that in mind. So I know you guys were working with us for the CV. At the time, we said throw everything on the kitchen sink into the CV, right? We said that the CV is something that what we call as like, look at the CV here. The CV is something that will contain everything. This is for graduate school. You're going to apply to a program and for masters, everything else and all that. So we said that is what is going to happen. But when you move and we're working on the CV to convert it into the resume, sorry, we forgot to add it here, but I'll add it here. So when you're doing a resume, right, it is always in the context of a particular job or an internship. It is not separate and by itself. Okay, so you have to understand that. All right. So that is like the first thing to remember. Internship or the job description will kind of decide how your resume looks like. And resumes are mostly one pager. I'll show that to you quickly. I'm also going to spend some time on helping you to figure out the drafting a cover letter. This would be required for those of you who are going to the United States and other countries, of course. Even Germany, etc., would require, but Germany is like a little different game. They would require you to have it in German, and obviously your school is going to help you with all that, and they have a different format and all. But see, the aim today is you already have a CV with you. How can you get a resume? That's what I'm going to help you with today. All right, so keep your CVs ready. Whoever doesn't have it, can you just tell us if you don't have it? I'm going to just show the template very quickly for those of you who don't have it so that we can later on like get it. Or I will assume that everybody has a CV already. Okay. All right. I'm going to assume that everybody has a CV and let's get going. So let me just share the other screen. 1 minute. I'm pretty excited about, a couple things happening with us, right? Because all my clients of this year have got their visas. They're pretty excited about going. The only thing that people were saying was that their accommodation and all, no, has been very difficult. They said that it has been very challenging, especially accommodation this year, no? Due to the rising prices everywhere, it is just so much. I couldn't even believe it. When I was living in Ann Arbor, yeah, I could get in $650, I could get an entire one BHK apartment with like a studio apartment is what they call it. So one BHK apartment entirely, I could get it for $650. Okay, so now the same kind of apartment cost around $2,250 a month. Okay, and I could not believe it that it was in the same Ann Arbor. So it is just insane, the way that costs have increased. But anyway, like many of my clients are going abroad, very happy with their visas, already starting with collecting the dal and everything else. I'm just joking, but yeah, they're already working on their pre-departure list. And anyway, what am I going to show? The first thing that you need to keep in mind whenever you're looking at internship or a job or something is to have a job description. So I'm going to go with the first role that I am seeing right now. See, the best way to look, right, is obviously my friend Google here. These days, I don't trust Google all that much. But of course, you have better engines. But yeah, for the time being, let's look at this quickly. So I want to show a couple things for you right now. So let's say that I'm looking for a robotics engineer job, all right? And let's say that I'm looking for a robotics engineer job in, say, Bosch later on. Okay, and I'm going to look in greater Detroit area because I can. I know these guys exist there. So like that. Okay. So whatever it is, you will find tons of jobs in tons of places. Example Indeed, example LinkedIn, and example Glassdoor. Then you will also have tons of places like my favorite alma mater. Obviously, you can't finish, I mean, you can't forget your alma mater. And University of Michigan did have one of the best career services ever, and I can vouch for it. Most of the stuff that I've learned is from the wonderful career center, and I had the privilege of like also working with them for some time. So you can go to, for example, your career center here. All right. So where can I find jobs? That is the first question that you're trying to answer. You will find the jobs on multiple forums. So those of you in India right now looking for a job, you guys are going to find a job on many portals like this and tons of other portals. You will find it on the company site. Example, Bosch Engineering will tell you these are the jobs that I have. You will find it on a job collector site like an Indeed, or you will find it on LinkedIn, etc. And you'll also find it on what we call as like a curation site like Glassdoor, etc. Okay, and those of you who are going abroad will 100% find a job using the career center and different things like this. Okay, so this is what is the first step. You will find a job or a job role or an internship role to which you want to apply. All right. And I love this because they have Handshake as a new deal. Earlier for us, it was called like, C tools and all that. But now they have Handshake and all. It's very interesting. The platforms that these guys have started using and, adapting to. So you will see that you really want to find a job and they have multiple things and steps that they're telling you. And today we will look at the resumes and the cover letters. I also will tell you that these guys are, the career center will help you as soon as you go. But the reason that you should have your one-pager internship resume ready right now is because the moment you land in the US or Germany or anywhere else, you will be looking for part-time jobs and internships for the summer immediately. Okay, so that's why you have to do it right now. Anyway, coming back to it, the first thing to note is to find a job description. So does anybody want to help me with a job description? Do you guys want to show what is a job description? Otherwise, I'm going to go with this one at the moment because robotics engineer seems like cool thing, one of the getter things. ML role, I can do it, of course. ML engineer, I can do it. And then I can find out why don't I go to, I was looking at my friend in Atlanta today. I was speaking to her and I can go to Atlanta and find out a role there. Okay. And so on. But you can decide whichever role you want and however you want to get it is what I'm trying to tell you, right? You have to have a job description first. So can you guys all please pull a job description for yourself to which you're applying, whether in the US or India? India is again so easy. Suppose you say that, hey, look, I want to find an ML internship role in Bangalore. Okay, so you can automatically find. So they have an ML internship in Crit. So I'm going to like work with these three categories at the moment. Okay, so that you guys will have enough understanding of multiple roles. But can you all please pull a job role or internship role to which you are interested? Okay, it can be in any part of the world. Like example, I'm showing you Detroit, and this is in Troy. the robotics engineer, and it has like multiple things. So I'm going to pick one of these things and show you. Another role can be ML machine learning engineer role. I will take not a senior job, but a lower level role. Okay. I might take a lower level role. Let's look at it. Yeah, it says 5 years of experience. No, that's too much. So most of you guys I know are not having too much of experience. So let's look at a lower level role. And yeah, oh, yeah, this also needs a lot more experience. See, that's also another thing. No, most of these jobs will need a lot of experience that you will see. But this looks okay. They say that, oh, I just need a bachelor's or a master's in this. So this might be a role that is open to you guys, right? So let's pick this role, machine learning in Georgia, like Atlanta, Georgia, as an example. And then we will pick a robotics engineer in, say, Detroit. Rochester Hills is good, actually. It's not too bad. And let's take this kind of a role as an example. And we will take one more role as an ML internship at CRED, which is not too bad. Okay, so we can look at these three. This is an internship. The other two are jobs in different fields. That's what I'm going to use as a case study, unless you guys are sending me something by chat now. If you want, speak now and I will show that as an example. Yeah. So what are we doing? The first thing is we are identifying which job or internship am I applying to. The moment you do that, right, you will have to go through what are the things that they are looking for. Example, education. Example, they're looking for technical skills as programming skills, machine learning, data analysis, etc., and all of these things that they're doing, you know. So your job will be in order to help you figure out what are the kind of skill set that you already have and how can you show that skill set to that particular person. All right. So I'm going to show you with one example. Um, all right. So see, I'm going to, instead of the ML, instead of this robotics engineer, I can even find the most common role in the world, which is a full stack developer. Okay. You have a full stack developer level 2, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's look at this. Oh, Detroit Tigers, very nice. So you would want to look at all these kind of roles, no? So we can take this as a role. Okay, someone had said that, hey, can you show me full stack software developer? Absolutely, here you go. So we are looking at these three roles. Coming back to my internship, right? So what is my job, or rather, what is the resume's job? The resume's job is to tell the person that you have all these skills that you're looking for. Now, of course, you can't show all the skills in the world, right? You can't show that, you can't tell them like, I have this, I have that, etc. So how do you show that? Some of the skills will be coming through your technical skills. Example, programming skills. You will show that I know Python, R, and Java in your technical skills. Okay. And then suppose you look at machine learning concepts, you will show this through the projects you have done and the courses you've taken, the coursework that you've taken. So you will highlight it there. Okay. So when it comes to data analysis and manipulation, you can show this through a project that you've taken. Okay. And or you might say that I have learned IBM course. I took an IBM certification course and I spent one course on understanding more about data analysis and manipulation. And this is the kind of project I've taken. So you can also write it as a certification or a course you've taken, but most importantly, it is better to demonstrate it in a project that you've taken. Math and statistics 100% will be part of your curriculum and what you've studied. ML libraries and frameworks, again, data structures and algorithms, all of these things, all these three things can be shown through your courses that you've undertaken. And the proof of it can be in the projects. Example, you can say that, you should show that I have worked with NumPy and pandas on something else. Okay, I don't know. Some people say NumPy, some people say NumPy. I don't know which category you belong to. I use both. I don't care at the moment, and whichever is great, right? So you need to show that you know these two packages and libraries basically in your projects. It is not just enough to show that, oh yeah, I've learned it in my machine learning course or reinforcement learning or deep learning, blah blah blah. You have to show this in your projects that you have utilized Either all of them or some of them are equivalent. Example, you may not have learned Keras, but you could have learned something else in substitute of it. You don't have to know a Python, but you could have done an R. That's what I'm trying to say. So either this or equivalent. You could always have like a competitor. Can someone tell me like what would be like a other data manipulation library to be used instead of NumPy and Panda? Anybody? Any smart tech person here who can help me with that? What other software or libraries could you use instead of NumPy and Pandas or NumPy and Pandas? Quickly, guys. Someone saying Google? That's why I know how to do it. No, but jokes apart, that's what we mean, right? Sometimes it doesn't have to be the exact library or framework or technology or tool or tech stack. Okay, it can be a different tech stack. See, earlier in life, we used to have the MERN tech stack, and then we had the mean and all, right? And you have like different methodologies. Earlier people used to use the agile methodology. Then the waterfall came in. So the waterfall and then the agile, like that. I mean, right? So it doesn't matter that you only have a specific what you call it as tool. Okay, you could have alternatives for the tool also. So I hope you're getting this point. All right, next is of course, like, so these three things we decided that we're going to show through the courses you've taken as well as the projects that you've taken. So you have to demonstrate it in the projects, and then of course research and problem solving and all of it, right? Some of these things will be explored by the person in the interview if you get to that stage. So this is what they will be testing. Example would be like, do you have the ability to solve a problem? So they might present a problem to you and check your approach to it. They will definitely like look for your communication skills in the interview. They will definitely ask you questions about how you're responding to feedback and how well do you know some of the trends that are happening in your own field. Okay, so some of the things, as you saw, would be directly coming through the courses, the certifications, the skills that you list in your resume. Some of the other things are coming through the projects, and some of the other skills that cannot be mentioned directly and which can be construed as subjective will be tested in a technical interview and, of course, in a behavioral interview if you get to the next stage. All right, is that clear? So now this is just a internship role, right? And this is very interesting. No, they say that, oh, it has 11 lakhs per year. That's very interesting. But I'm not sure that you're going to get it that much. But that's it. Like they don't have too many other things in here. So this is the whole profile. So then how do I tailor my resume for it? So let me go to the template and I will just show that to you in the form of our presentation right now. Okay. So what we did is, of course, you're going to see, I'm going to just highlight a couple things. Yes, you will learn a lot of these things, but today we are focusing especially on the resume for a job, for an internship, either now in India or once you go abroad, and of course, how to draft a cover letter. So those are the two important critical aspects. And of course, it's very important when you go for a job skill. I was talking to one of my executive resume writers. This person helps people get roles about 225,000, 300,000, and all that. So actually two of them, one is in Brussels and another operates from Atlanta. So they were saying like how the cover letter is not dead, but it's just gone into like your LinkedIn and other places and all, right? So it is not dead. How the technical interview is now replaced with more of like a project that people have to do. Okay, and how the resume, right, is like a combination of your LinkedIn profile and even video resume tools and all that, right? So, oops, yeah, video resume tools and everything. And of course, so people at the senior level don't have any aptitude tests and all that, but you guys will definitely have some form of technical testing happening for you. All right, so you should anticipate it and 100 times, 100% interviews. So this was very interesting for me, right? Because when I landed in Ann Arbor, I was so shocked that within 1 week, no, I had to get my resume ready. I had to like figure out my classes, where these classes were, understand like what's going on, and so on. And then I remember even the date when it was around September 7th. And on that day, right, there's this career fair and a lot of the firms came. Okay. And people were queuing up for the job fairs. And a lot of my friends got into this one for the summer internships and all. It was very different and grueling because honestly, I had no clue that this was going to happen. Okay, luckily for me, I got research internships. I mean, research assistantships and all, right? So that because of that, my summer was taken care of. But for my other friends, they had to really, really work hard in order to find a summer internship. Okay, because the best thing is to get the people to come to you. All right. Now, if you're in a program like Masters in Engineering Management, it is a short program. So the summer, what do you call it? The fall will be very crucial. In September is when the major companies will come. So they are all very crucial for you in order to build that rapport. Tell them that you're a candidate who's available and who's working on it and all. See, one interesting thing I'll tell you. One of my friends just interviewed for a particular role, for an intern role in September of the year that we went there, but did not get anything like at that time. But later on, when he reached out to the person and said that, hey, do you guys have any opening? I'm looking for a summer internship. They said that, yeah, like, hey, you made a good impression with us at that time. Yeah, we would be very happy to take you now. Okay, so that's how they started, like, going on. Okay, so so that is what you will have to like keep in mind when you're looking at the power of the interview as well as the power of the resume. It stays in the system for long. Okay, so you guys are students, or maybe like applying for graduate students and all that, right? You guys have worked with me on this before. We have worked with you on the CV. So you know all this. So this part is very clear to you. All right. Now, when it comes to a working professional, because that's what you guys will all be when you're looking at a job resume or a CV, what happens is you really will have to focus a lot on the career progression guide, okay, or what we call is the relevant experience which shows demonstrated abilities. Okay, let me repeat that. You are a student, of course, but you are applying to become a working professional. Therefore, you should highlight on relevant experience which demonstrates your skills so far. Example, you say, I know Python. Show me how you know Python. Show me in that project or some other the practical thing, your research project, your undergraduate project, or your internship. Okay, your professional internship, research internship, whatever it is, like industry internship, it doesn't matter. So show us in that. So that is what we will focus more on. And we definitely would look for some ability to take initiative. So you might have led a project, you might have like led the team in your college, etc., and all that. Oops. And then, of course, you do want to like put some interesting stuff about yourself so that you leave a message or like this one. One of my juniors was, literally crazy about ATVs and RVs and other things. So literally, and motorcycles. So what he used to do, no, his main job was he used to buy these cheap motorcycles in the US, and then he would work on them and then make them like better and all that. So he was really hands-on with motorcycles and he was really good at it. He would know how to work on things and put it together and all that. So he does a lot of action on that. That is what got the job for him in General Motors later. General Motors was not hiring at all. This was in the early, I'm talking about the 2008 and all that time period when it crashed. It was a big problem and so on. Okay, so General Motors was not hiring, but they hired this guy because they knew his passion for it. And you know the interesting story? This person came from a computer science background and had nothing to do with anything mechanical engineering related or automotive engineering related. Okay, but he was still able to like manage getting into one of the topmost engine manufacturing companies after that. He got an internship at GM and then moved on to Cummins. And the reason that he could do that was because he was really enthusiastic about the hands-on work and then working on things and all that. Yeah. So when you are going and saying that, look, I am coming and applying to you for a job or an internship role, it is very important that you showcase all the skills that you got. Okay. When you're applying to graduate school, it is different. Okay. So graduate school, do not worry. I'm there to help you towards all of it. And my team is there to help you. But for today, we will focus only on the job. Okay, the job resume is one page. It has to be skill based. Unlike your other ones, it has to be like seeking for a particular job. It cannot be all over the place. All right, you have to tailor it for each job. So, which what does it mean? It means that every time I get into a new job, I might have to remake my resume. Unless it's a, see, for example, I'm applying to, let me show that, let's see this. Okay, so you might see that, um, I hope that you're able to see the screen now. Excellent. So you might say that, look, you might say, look, I'm going to apply for a full-time job. My first preference is I want to get a machine learning engineer role. But if I don't get a machine learning engineer role, then I'm okay to also apply as a full stack developer. So this means that if you're applying for a full stack developer, your resume is going to be different than what you applied as a machine learning engineer. Okay, that's what we mean. All right, so let's take another exercise of, let's look at the full stack developer role, and let's look at like how this is working out for, uh, you know, 1 minute. I'm not sure if you're seeing my screen well. Yeah, you are, I hope. All right, so let's look at this. These guys want a full stack developer team to join them for the baseball. Wonderful. Hey, this will be such a fun thing, huh? You guys will get like free baseball tickets and all. I did go to a Detroit Tigers game, and I'll be very honest, it was the most boring 3 hours of my life. But I did enjoy a lot of time with my colleagues and all that. Baseball is not like cricket. Nobody like really like cheers all that much, and it's so quiet. But if you get free tickets and all, why not? Because they're like really, really expensive. And yeah, you get to work with Detroit Tigers. So anyway, this is like a fun role. And see, the most important item, right, is what is your job responsibility? So you have to show that you have the ability to design, develop, and maintain software applications. So you have to have this particular project or coursework or something in your resume. Okay, so you can also show like what is the like many times that you worked in the like effective software development roles or something. Now you might say, Kritika, I never had the opportunity to work with an internship before. But then you can bring your GitHub stuff. You can bring your HackerRank stuff. You can bring your Kaggle stuff. Okay, you can show that how you have the ability to write clean code and all of it. Test and also like debug software, blah blah blah, and all that. So whatever is the particular task, you have to show that you have a skill set or there is a demonstrated ability in your resume. All right. So this is very critical. People, like most of the time, people don't get in because they don't show the relevance. All right. So make sure that you will have a separate, a lot of factors that can show that. And then, of course, here they say what all they need. They say that I need a bachelor's degree, maybe 3+ years of experience. Now, those of you who know that you don't have the 3+ years of experience, you can always show that in research experience, in additional projects, in other things that you've done in the academic environment. Okay, sometimes it's okay. Like, so if these guys are saying that, yeah, you can just apply, it doesn't matter. And if they say that 3+ years is not really a mandatory thing, then you can apply. But if they're saying that, hey, you know what, I want 3+ years of experience, okay, then it becomes a challenge. All right. So sometimes work. Sorry, there was some problem with the recording and we are back again. So anyway, so as we were discussing, right, it's very important to show the demonstrated ability. That is what is going to get you the interview. The purpose of the resume is to get you the interview. That's it. All right. So make sure that you're able to show APIs or SQL or DevOps practices, or like showing that you have the ability to work on all the aspects of the this one, right? And so on and so forth. So that is very, very important. All right. So yeah. So with that, let's get into the actual practical things. Okay. Where do you tweak your resume? So that will be the purpose, no? So I hope that you understood this, because if you don't understand this difference, you will be like, wasting a lot of time. So every job that you go to, every internship role that you go to, you will apply a separate resume depending on the role. Okay, and most of the times after, see, if you apply for a full stack developer for Detroit Tigers, After some time, it will be the same for another full stack developer role, right? So that's what you'll have to keep in mind. And then, so let's start here. So this one is a template that I'm sure that you guys already have and you have worked with me so many times in life. So I'm just going to tell you about where do you emphasize today. All right. Emphasize definitely more on the research experience, the professional experience, which includes your internships, everything else, and the extracurricular activities a little bit. Your education will also come in as like one liner, two liners, etc. And so emphasize more on these elements. Okay. So you will have to write a lot more about these elements. And I'm going to show you my favorite resource for you that you can go and check because they really give you a lot of information and help you with it. So which is the obviously the most important role here. See, if you go to the career center, you can use this also. You can use Purdue. Purdue has one of the best career centers as well. You can use Wisconsin Madison, any of these guys, right? But I like Michigan because I went there and I think they do a good job. So they would really have multiple things here that are something that you can look at. These are additional tools for you. I really hope that you can go and do this and then check this out. Okay. But the most important tool, right, will be here. So, and I'll be later on putting this into your, where we record this and put it back, right? So this is the Easy RC, which is the, and I'll just put this. Yeah. So the Engineering Career Resource Center at University of Michigan has wonderful resources for you to check out. Now, if you're going to Northwestern, if you're going to Northeastern, if you're going to Georgia Tech, if you're going to any of those places, by now you will have what we call as our admitted student access. So you can always use that. Okay, but those of you who are just evaluating which program to go, where to go, blah, 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 and all, you can please go to Engineering Careers Resource Center at Michigan, and they give you tons and tons and tons of resources. I would highly recommend you to go and look at the resumes, the CVs, and the cover letters. They give you like sample resumes and all that. You might say, Kritika, then why did you not give this to us when we were working on our grad school resumes? Please note, the resume is very different than a graduate school CV. Graduate school CV should be treated like, how do I say? uh, the easiest thing I can think of is it should be treated like very carefully, like your internal assessment, like that. You don't show it to everybody in the world. You only show it to your graduate school people who should give you the scholarship, right? Or admit for that matter. The resume is meant to travel around the world, where you're going and applying for jobs and all that. It's a little different. Okay. So that's why don't use this for developing your grad school resume. Of course, there are like common things that are there because you are the same person. But please note that the resume is much different than the CV and the purpose is different. Okay. So when you're working with me for your graduate school CV, we will take only relevant portions of this. But when you're going for a job, it's better to always look at what they have and everything else and all that. Okay, so you can see that they have a lot more things and so on, which talk about it. They have like different, this one and teaching experience and all of these things which are available for you. Go ahead and check it out. All right, so here is an example of a CV that they have, and I'm going to show that to you in order to show you the difference between our template and their template. All right. So most of the times you will talk about the coursework and everything that you've done here itself, and you will talk about like a summary. This is for older students, for younger students, it doesn't matter, but it's always good to have a summary on your LinkedIn profile. All right, so that is one thing. Then you will talk about a lot of research experience that you had and all the things that you've done and teaching experience that you've had, project experience that you've had, etc., etc., the skills you picked up, the publications, the scholarships, and all. So when you guys look deeply, you will realize that we already have all of it in our CV. When you guys were working on your CV, you had all these portions. Okay, maybe the formatting looks a little different, but you already have all this information readily available. Okay, now this guy is obviously going in for a two-pager because he is a PhD student. But if you are a master student, one pager is more than enough. So where can I find the one pager stuff? You will find the one pager stuff on the resumes here itself. And there are many other. This was a CV, that's why the CV is longer. And when you look at the resume format, right, you will have a lot of resume as well here. So when you typically have a resume, it's one pager. Okay. And you will see that it's very, very short and sweet. And there's a template that you can use. There are many, many things. They give you like a lot of options and all that. Okay. But what would now when you guys go back and look at your own resume, you'll realize that all the stuff is there. You just have to pick and choose which to highlight depending on the particular role and the skills. Okay. Now, shall we check for the skill that we have? Like, I'm going to take this example. Okay. So this guy was from Bachelor of Science in Engineering in Industrial and Operations Engineering. Yeah. So he's, let's say that, he is going to apply to, I'm going to change this. Okay. I'm going to change this to an industrial engineering role in say Atlanta. Let's go to Atlanta, Chicago, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Atlanta has it, but why not Houston? Houston has tons of jobs in industrial engineering, as does New York. You will see that. Okay, so I'm going to go to Houston, and this is very like high level role. Okay, this is also very high level role. Okay, here, but this looks like an interesting role. Okay, so let's say that I have to apply to the this particular role as an industrial engineering and engineer in Houston. And I need to show that I have all these skills available. So that is what I need to show on my resume. Okay. So when I bring my resume up or the sample resume that is available here, then I should show. Okay. So for example, let's take couple points. So the point here would be I have experience in MS Office, and then I have less than 1 year in the manufacturing field. Okay, and then I know the quality control standards and testing methodologies. All right, so I want to show this. Okay, I know all the switchboards, blah, 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 etc., like this. So now I should go to my resume and make sure that all those things are coming into play. See, here is a role where I only have 2 months of experience, so I don't have any experience at all. Okay, and then see, when I'm talking about my solar power project, I might have to bring in analytical skills. I can also bring in like how I use Excel and how I use like other tools in order to like build dashboards or data boards, etc., like this. I need to make sure that my skills are showing Excel and PowerPoint and manufacturing and blah, blah, and all that. Okay. So whatever they are looking for. So let's just bring both of these guys together so that it's easy. So wherever these guys are looking for, so they're looking for a specific things. So they need this one. This is a check. I can do this. The person must understand the latest version of the electronic power design. So how can I show that? I can show that through a relevant course. So in my course, no, here I will say that, hey, you know what? I had a course called, I don't know, whatever that was, like this power system design or electronic power design. So I can say that I have taken a course called electronic power design. And in that, I have done this study or whatever it is. Or if I've done a project here, so I can say that, hey, look, this also involved the electronic design study and blah, 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 and I can highlight that. Okay, are you guys with me so far? Okay, so let's take another thing. So this guy says that I need to have a thorough knowledge of quality control standards and testing methodologies. How can I show that? I can show that through a course. Okay, maybe a course, maybe an internship. Here I can say that, hey, while I was interning in this company, I got a chance to see what were some of the quality standards that were used in this particular company. All right, so what will this indicate to somebody? This will show that you have this ability to work on things, right? You have this ability to like the skills that they are looking for, and the skills that they are looking for, and that will be something that you can mention here. All right. So, guys, did you see how we are going to work on it? Sorry, I think there was a small break, but I wasn't speaking. But anyway, see, you can always say that I know these testing methodologies, etc., and prove it in either the internship experience or your leadership experience or your work experience and so on and so forth. That is how you tailor the resume. Okay. Now, LinkedIn has so many tools these days that will tell you, if you apply through LinkedIn, it will tell you like what are the skills that are missing in your CV, how to work on it. There are tons of online resume builders and all that. Okay. But I still prefer the old way of it, because this way you will be able to answer the interview better. You'll be able to say like what is happening, and then say, for example, you don't have these relevant quality skills and quality control processes. It's okay to admit that, but it is okay to say that, look, I have a relevant thing. So, for example, if I know that you've done a Six Sigma black belt, I 100% know that you will be in a position to learn these quality standards that are available. Okay, because I know you're a smart person and you'll be able to learn it. Okay, sometimes you may not have all the skills they're looking for. That's okay. All right. Now look at the problem. They said that they need 3 years of experience. So I don't think you guys can apply immediately out of college, right? But that's the thing. Okay. So here are sample number one, example of a resume, sample number two, example of a resume. And this person has worked in mechanical engineer, blah, 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 worked for a couple other places, etc. and all. So whatever it is, suppose this guy has to apply to the same role, again, the same thing will happen. All right. So because look at it, when I am coming in as a recruiter, I will evaluate you with respect to the criteria I have stated. And what are the criteria I have stated? I have stated that I want all these things that are needed for you. Okay. The other thing is also be aware of the responsibilities. So see, now this is where you are in, like the first guy is in luck, because he knows lean methodology, blah, 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 etc. and all that. Look at this. He has written that he knows lean manufacturing, and then he has done this lean manufacturing in this internship also and all. Okay. So that is how you knowing the responsibilities and showing that, look, I have the ability to have done at least 5 out of the 6 responsibilities, or I have done like 7 out of the 10 responsibilities, etc. Right? Will give the employer the confidence that you're the right person for the job. Okay. So it's very simple. Like you guys work with me on the CV, and the CV is very long. All you have to do is convert it into the most relevant points. You'll keep the most relevant points from the CV and remove all the other things. You will always put numbers. You will always add the results more. You will value the results more, etc. So let me just tell you a little bit about that quickly, so that you guys can do it after I go today. So this and all is very simple. It has to be relevant to the job. Do not forget it. It has to be relevant to the job. Whether it is college courses, master's courses, PhD courses, it doesn't matter. All right. The uh, and then of course, like when you're talking about the publications and all, do not put every publication in the world. You saw the PhD guy; he had like the luxury of having 2 pager. But if you're just going for a regular master's, 1 page only for you. So you put the most important publications. Don't put everything else. The rest of it, put it on your LinkedIn. Okay. Then the certifications matter. Again, like how I showed you this example of this guy, right? He had a Lean Sigma, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, Lean Manufacturing, Six Sigma, etc., etc., right? Like that. The technical skills should be reflective of what they are asking. If they want to see Python, give them Python. Now, if you don't know Python, use a substitute and tell them like in the interview that I'll always ready to learn Python, or even you can add like I'm learning Python, and then by the time that you get to the interview you can also do that. Okay, is that clear? And then definitely the awards, extracurricular activities will make you stand out, but we're going to keep only 1 or 2 points. We will not keep everything in the CV. We keep everything, but in the resume, right, only 1 or 2 points which are very, very unique about you. Like I told you about my friend, na? He said that he would build this custom machines. That's how he got the job. Okay. Languages, maybe you are a Bharatanatyam dancer. I had this guy who was a mimicry artist. It was really fun. I had a guy who ran a chess academy, and then he went for a master's. I had another person who was like working on setting up a food truck. Okay, and he wrote about that. So it can be anything and everything else which makes you memorable. I have one person who's now doing hydroponic farming, and they talk about that. I have another person who's really serious about contributing to night school. So they work with literally like with students on the pavements and teach on the pavements. Okay, twice a week. So that's what I mean. Like you need to have your extracurricular awards and everything else, but it will be only confined to this level. See, look at this. They don't write too many things. They just write the most important thing. Yeah. See, for example, it's a very prestigious thing to be part of the Michigan Engineering Consulting Club. And look at this guy. It's very, very important to be part of not everybody can get in here. Okay. The same thing with the graduate council and all. So they talk about those things. Okay. And then see, example, this rocket project where he worked on it. And I can tell you about this other guy who, sorry, other person. Yeah. I have also been part of Vice before. It's very nice. Yeah. And SWE, Graduate Society of Women Engineers. So it was really fun. So these are things that you might want to address. Okay, some sports, some important professional organization, and all that. All right, so I hope that you have enough things. Somebody says, why don't you put this link now itself? Absolutely. There you go. It's available in the chat for all. 1 minute. Okay, and then, yes. So this is a one particular resume sample, right? Yeah. So I hope that you guys all picked it up from the chat. Okay, and this is your Michigan as well. Now you can say that, yeah, can I not look at anything else on the web? You can. You can go use any other. See, it doesn't matter. I always keep telling you guys, format does not matter. The content matters. As a resume writer and certified resume writer, I can tell you that there are some changes the first guy needs to make, okay, to be more effective. But how does he make the change? He would make the change based on the job description, based on what he's looking for in the job. All right. So that's all it is. So coming back to our discussion on how to utilize our great template that we had before, it's very simple. All these portions are going to get lesser space, and the research experience and your work experience and all are going to get more space. Okay, definitely focus on certifications, professional development, academic awards, academic stuff that you've done. Anything that you've done academically, you want to highlight that a lot more. Scholarships, memberships, fellowships, any ship, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you really want to highlight the most important ones that show that you are a better candidate for their position. You also want to show that you're interested in the job. Okay, so that's where you will have a very short, even when we write our CVs, that we write it very shortly. But that's where you will, see, this is something that I would have given you as an example for my CV, right? When we did our CV, I would have told you about this, correct? You have to be even shorter in a resume because you don't have too much space. All right, so then what will you do? If you're looking at a very small project, what will you do? You will remove the context too much. You will only talk about mostly about how did you do it and the impact of the task. Okay, so you'll just say, hey, I designed XX and YY using like these libraries and frameworks and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And this was the result. Okay, because you may not have space to write about everything, right? So that's how you start minimizing. So if you remember this example, I would have used long time back, and I'm bringing this example in, or like, on purpose rather, because you would have written this in your CV, if you remember this, right? For your graduate school CV. The same thing, when you're writing for your one-pager resume, it will be very, very short and sweet. And it's all the more important to keep it shorter when it comes to your resume. Okay. And the problem solution results is exactly the same framework followed by everybody in the world. They call it STAR framework. They call it CAR framework, which is challenge, action, result. They call it, Michigan calls it like action, context, results, etc. Okay, it doesn't matter, guys. Whatever you follow, make sure that you are able to convey to somebody that you are a guy or a girl capable of tackling a challenge, tackling a problem, arriving at a solution, and obviously like working on the technical skills that you have in order to arrive at the solution. Okay, so it's not just important, like enough in life to say, oh, I have 10 ideas, but you should implement the ideas and show that you have the ability to execute those ideas. All right, so that's what it is. And that's pretty much it. That's all the secret of getting a resume done. Okay. See, if you're going for a technical interview in some big name companies, sometimes they may allow a two-page CV because they want to know all the things you've done. If you have work experience, it's okay to go with a two-page CV. But if you're going mostly into management roles or other roles and all, they will say one page only. And then see, most of the times we have to submit one page only. So that's why Michigan has this beautiful formatting and all that you're seeing, that can help you as well. Okay, one thing you have to note is it has to be machine searchable. All the more important given our AI tools and everything these days. AI tools have just become much more rigorous. They search for the keywords. So your keyword search, right? At least 8, 9 of the things you have to like include. You can include it in the skill. You can include it in the course. You can include it in the certification. It doesn't matter. Okay, let me explain that a little bit more so that you guys have a little bit more clarity. Let me tell you about what I'm saying. See, look here. So this guy says that I need to see MS Word and PowerPoint. I need to see quality control standards and testing methodologies. Yeah. I need to see problem solving skills. So when you go and submit a resume for that, it has to come either under skills or project experience or work experience or coursework. That's all I'm saying. So, for example, I could have taken a let's use the word project management, or let's use the word, sorry, what is the word they're using here? Let's use the word, this one, na? So, okay, let's use simple thing, na? MS Office. How can I show MS Office? You could have actually taken a course of MS Office, which seems like a little trivial, but 100% you could have used that in your internship or any project. Okay, or in even like your leadership experience somewhere, definitely skills. Okay, so I need to see MS Office somewhere. Let's pick another skill. What else do they want? They said lean methodology, blah blah blah, and statistical analysis. So I have to see statistical analysis somewhere here. So let me do a control F and see if I see a statistical thing because I'm so lazy. Oh, there it is. Look here. A course is there. Okay. Now, because we like a lot of ATS systems have started using AI, they can infer a statistical model. Say, for example, look at this line. You compile the results and forward and presented the companies and all that. Now, how to make this stronger? You could say that I compiled the results using Excel and Word and blah, 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 and all that. I presented it, blah, 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 like that, right? That is one way of doing it. How do I say that I know statistical analysis? For example, here, you research design options, material costs, and all of it to determine optimal pricing and launch strategy. Now here, I could have obviously used some statistical analysis, analytical techniques. So AI can infer from that. Okay, AI can infer from that and say, yes, this guy has a little bit of a fit here and all. But technically, you have to write it. Okay, it is better to say that, look, I researched the design options and then I used X and XYZ statistical approach in order to arrive at the optimal pricing and launch strategy. So like that also I can do. Okay, now obviously this guy may not have used statistical analysis here, but he could have used it elsewhere. Do that. So example, he could have done this here, right? So presented 12 weeks of data analysis and recommendation. So obviously he has used some tools. So AI will pick it up, knowing that you have used some tools there. Okay, so that's how you will be able to show your ability to work on data analysis and statistical analysis as was showed here. So look here, these guys have said that you need to have problem solving, and I saw data somewhere, 1 minute. Where did I see data? Wait a minute. See, this is where I saw data. The same job. Okay. So use statistical applications in Excel to produce plot quality production data. So how can this guy say, I have this ability? He can write it here, because he has this in this internship. So if they use AI tool, no, they will be able to kind of infer this. But to make it easy for the AI tool, you write it in your own words, saying that, look, I did a data analysis and recommendations. I used Excel in order to plot and do the quality data. Okay, so I was able to find out the See, what recommendations did I give? So I was able to say that improve the quality by X%, improve this by Y%, blah, 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 like that. Okay, are you guys with me so far? Yeah, can I get like a show of something, a reaction, a chat message or something? Okay. All right, cool. So that's how you tailored your resume. Okay. The point of the resume is obviously that you would go back to the requirements of the job becomes critical. There are tons of other things. And now I'm going to go to the cover letter. See, we have a very simple cover letter. This was pre AI, and we are very happy to show that AI also is going to recommend the same thing now. And you might wonder, like, how did AI get it? Please note that cover letters have been around ever since Leonardo da Vinci gave the resume. Okay, so the cover letter is very important. You want to tell to whom you're writing. Now, what is the aim of it? So you will say like very simple. So I showed you the example of the guy applying to industrial engineering role. So he obviously is writing to the hiring manager there. Okay. Now, sometimes you might not write to the hiring manager. You can write to the recruiter. Recruiters are different than hiring managers. Okay. Sometimes recruiter is nothing but like the HR person. Hiring manager would be the actual person who is going to like say yes or no to you based on your technical skills. HR guy will come and say, yeah, this person seems to have all the Excel skills and all you want. Do you want to like take this guy forward? The hiring manager will say, yes, let me interview this person and then I'll take it up. Okay, so to whom are you writing is very important. Then what action do you hope that they will take? They obviously have to like give you an interview. That's it. Most jobs and internships interview. That is your goal. I already showed you how do your skills fit into the company, right? This is where, suppose that guy is going to write a cover letter. He'll say, look, I worked for the internship that at this company. I learned all these skills and all that. That's why I feel that I'll be the right person for you. And they talk about what skills should I include or exclude. Okay. And then most importantly, you should say, why do I want to work in this place? All right. Very important. Why do you want to work in that with Detroit Tigers, for example? Or why do you want to work in that industrial role at Houston, right? Okay, so you should tell, like, how can you convey the knowledge is using the responsibilities. You remember there were like a set of responsibilities that you were able to give. Okay, so that's what you'll have to write about. And then what else does a person need to know about you? So for example, if you're a motorcycle enthusiast and the company is making engines, you need to tell them that. Okay, now if you're a person who likes to play on Kaggle or you're a e-games specialist, then you might want to show or tell them like why that is helpful for you. Okay, so here's an example of it, and we will be putting a copy of it for you, but it's very, very straightforward. Now, though, with ChatGPT and everybody else in the world, you will have tons of templates in the world, but to make it stand, you have to customize it for yourself like everything else in life. So that's why we say follow our framework, which is very simple. Answer these questions and your cover letter is ready. Okay, so we'll be sharing this with you later. Definitely, this is a structure that you would want. And then like, this is a structure that I recommend. And we have a dummy here that you can, take. Take a screenshot of this if you want to work on the cover letter today. It will still go on to the this one, yeah? Okay. So see, you have to address it to some person, huh? See, now you might say, Kritika, I never write a letter. I'm writing an email. Of course, the email will still go to somebody in the world, no? So that will be the email, the guy or the girl to whom you're giving the email. Then you can also see sometimes you have a referral or a professor or somebody, that is okay. Be very clear about the role that you want. Let me show the example. You do not want to mess up with the role. Example, let's say that you're looking at this industrial engineer role, you're looking at this full stack developer role, and you're looking at this, what do you call it? This machine learning internship role. Don't mix it up. I know, like, it seems like a very trivial thing, no? But I know so many of the people who make a mess out of things because of this. This is the number one reason why people don't get in. They like apply to the wrong job with the wrong skill set or the wrong resume. Okay, so I can't like even tell you about why this is like an important factor and then how that affects you. But yeah, it does. And then last but not the least, you have to show that you know about the company. You don't want to randomly come and talk about some random nonsense. You have to tell them about why do you think that you're a good fit for this role? Okay, and how would you say that? What have you found about the company, the employers, the people, etc., and all? Okay. Most importantly, this is a very important thing. Focus on the employer's needs, not your role. Your one. Your role is to get a job, right? Don't go say that. Show the person that you're a good person. You're a good fit to their what they want. Now, what is it they want? See, let's go to another internship wala thing, na yahan pe. So let's go and look at this. What does this guy want? They want proficiency in programming languages, familiarity with machine learning, data analysis and manipulation, mathematics and statistics. This is what they want. Okay. Now they're also looking for somebody who's open to learn, who's very like good at communication, and is also like able to do research and solve problems easily. So show them that. Don't go saying that, oh, I need a job and I think this is a good role for me and all, right? Show them why you fit the bill. That is the number one reason why you may not get an internship or a job. Okay, definitely keep to one page unless they tell you otherwise. For God's sake, proofread. This is where our career centers and everybody else will come in for you. All right. So before I like dive into the questions that you might be having for me, let me take you into like another one. I love Purdue Owl. So that's what they used to call it. And Purdue Owl was also like a wonderful center. We loved it. It's an online writing owl, not owl, as in like online writing lab. That's what it is. But while I was in Michigan, no, I would really refer to a lot of these things. They have amazing information that you need to really check. The first thing that you'll have to check, no matter what you do in life, will be yes, the resume guide. Their guide is also useful. Don't think that, oh, Kritika is always partial to her own college. Not like that. I love to pick up information from wherever I'm getting. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So you can also benefit from this. I will put it in the chat so that you're able to take it with you. All right. So you would want to 100% like work with this one, right? It's a very nice tool that is available for you. A lot of things about resumes, when to use 2 pages or more, when to keep it one, what about the design? They have a lot of things that is very, very helpful. Okay. Again, don't ask me why you didn't give me before, because please note that you need to have some basic before you can go to advanced level. All right, so that's why we keep all this towards the end and not in the beginning. Now, you can use a lot of these for the resume, not for your CV. I again want to tell you, getting into graduate school CV is a little different than getting a job. Okay, so so do not worry, come to us for the CV, but for resumes, for particular jobs. Okay, by the way, CV is also okay because a lot of people apply to academia. They apply to become postdocs. They apply for research roles in industry think tanks and all those industry labs that exist. So for those guys, you have to use this 2 pages. The rest of the world, you're going to use like 1 page and all that. So this is another lovely resource which I like, especially their citation guides and all that. And I love their exercises as well. It's a good time for you to go and start working on a few things if you think that you have you have some time for it and all. Okay, they're fun. So that's another last thing that I want to tell you before I jump into the question and answer session. And there we go. Yeah, hit me with your questions in terms of what you have now. See, what do I expect you guys to do is please work on your like 1 page resume for the internship and other things, and work on it and make sure that it's tailored for the particular role. One question is like, I am going to apply to a one of you saying that I'm applying to a research internship. What do I do? See, whether you apply to a professor or for an industry job or whatever, every role will have a set of tasks. Okay. And as a result, a set of skills you're looking for. So tailor it as per that. Okay. All right. So another question here is like, when should I be working on this resume? Now, if you're going for fall 2025 right now, fall 2024 right now, because I know that many of you are leaving. If you are like working towards your fall 2025, you can work on the 1 page resume after you finish your application. But because you've attended my session today, you can always use it. And I know that some of you are looking for internships. So 100% utilize what I taught you today for the internships. know that the purpose and the approach towards a CV versus a resume is much different. Okay, CV is about giving everything about you and what all you know. Resume is about showing that you are a right fit for only that particular this one. All right, excellent. I have one last question, I believe, from one of you, which is, can you show me this one? Yes, I will show you. 1 minute. Yeah, I can show you. Yes. So one of you is like, can you show me like which particular format should I use? Doesn't matter. Does not matter. When you go to OWL, they'll give you a different one. Okay, you can find LaTeX versions, you can find Canva versions, whatever it is. But whenever you see, right, Michigan kind of like promotes a lot of simplicity, which I really, really like because please note that even in today's world, right, a lot of graphical resumes will not be considered. Okay, that's why this particular format is also very nice. And if you have worked with me, you will know that much of the stuff that we do, right, the content template reflects this. Okay, it's not the same, but it contains or helps you to put the same content in. Okay, because I always say that the content is king. All right, so for example, how can this guy make this particular sentence better? Is by showing their impact furthermore. What happened when they increase the bus bar area? You know, they can show that a little bit more. So there's a lot of scope of improvement in all of these. Yes. So it doesn't matter whether you pick this one, that one, as long as you're tailoring it for the particular one. Yes, the Career Research Center of every university is really good. I know some of the programs which are better. How do I know it? Is because I honestly have worked with these guys, and therefore I can tell you like they are some of the best. Michigan, especially, is kind of one of the best. I also have to tell you about AI practice that they have, right? And they talk about like how to use a little bit of it. I would say that guys, please do not use any AI tool for your graduate school CV that you're sending as an application. I maintain by that. Once you graduate from your masters and you're going for a job, use any tool you want. Nobody cares. Okay, but see, the difference is like this, right? It's like you're going into the competition. Okay, you're going into a qualifying competition. So you have to follow the rules. Once you get into the qualifying competition, you can go and okay, tweak your routine to whatever it is, as they say in gymnastics. You can do anything you want once you get in, but you have to first qualify for the world championship or Olympics or whatever it is, however you want to liken your graduate school journey. Okay, so it's very important. Yeah, of course. Yeah, someone says like, yeah, like, can I use these guys when I go there? Absolutely. See, because note one thing, these all can the career centers and everybody else, right, they exist to help you find a job there. But why do we recommend it to you right now is because now you should find internships and other things and all, and it's a good skill to have. All right, so this is like a bonus webinar. Okay, not mandatory. All right. So with that, I think we come to the end of today's session, and you guys have been a great audience. Thanks so much and happy writing. Until I see you next time, I really hope that you're working your way towards grad school, either in the beginning or towards the end. And stay in touch, everybody, and happy writing. Bye.